Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having scored the highest number of votes cast, is hereby declared winner.
The APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, accompanied by his wife Senator Oluremi Tinubu, appreciated the delegates, party leaders and supporters for the show of love, adding that APC as a party would not allow any other party, particularly PDP, bring back the time of wastefulness to the country.
I choose politics over fine accountancy work papers, and it is only through this channel that can help build a team, unbreakable team, that will make Nigeria great. This is the beginning. First step taken, second step taken, and we are moving on. You are the great people of this country that have built, that must join hands to build and get rid whose head and brain and hearts have been possessed by evil.
He also said it is time to bring Nigeria forward by stopping current challenges affecting the country.
We have that appellation. We earn it. It is us. We are progressive. We are a nation builder. We are not destroyers. We are confident, courageous, that this nation is back on track.
President Muhammadu Buhari and the national chairman of APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, among other party stalwarts, joined Asiwaju as he received the party flag as the presidential candidate of APC in the 2023 general elections. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has congratulated Bola Tinubu on his victory at the presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress. Abubakar emerged as the candidate of the opposition party at the PDP Special Convention in May after defeating Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and former Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, among others. The former vice president took to his social media pages to congratulate the former governor of Lagos State, stating that the APC presidential primary was a hard-fought contest. Similarly, a former governor of Kano State, Abeokuta, has emerged as the presidential aspirant of the new Nigeria People's Party at the party's presidential primary election on Wednesday. The NNPP held its presidential primary election in the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja. Kwakwanso emerged as NNPP's standard bearer after delegates made their choice known by voice vote. Stakeholders in the broadcast industry, the western part of Nigeria, have come together to find a lasting solution to the current challenges facing them through a platform tagged Joint Interactive Forum on Industry Reforms. The forum is coming on the heels of the groanings they are passing through due to accumulated debts by advertisers, hike in the price of diesel, and epileptic power supply for transmission. The program, which was put together by Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, in collaboration with Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, was held at the Conference Hotel, Abeokuta.
The Joint Interactive Forum on Broadcast Industry Reform was put together by Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, and Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON, to rub minds and find a lasting solution to a myriad of problems faced by media houses in Nigeria, ranging from epileptic public power supply, increasing cost of diesel, as well as the new policy developed by APCON. In his welcome address, the chairman, Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, Mr. John Ugbe, represented by the executive secretary of the organization, Dr. Yemisi Bangboshe, said danger of high magnitude is looming on conventional media that has been the stabilizing factor in maintaining political stability in the country, hence the need for urgent attention.
One of the issues that have been having negative impact on broadcast industry in Nigeria is the age-long problem of debt recovery from advertisers and advertising agencies, even after diligent implementation of contractual agreements. Many stations, most especially the private stations, are finding it very difficult to survive because of huge debt and payment delay by advertising agencies.
The Registrar, Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, promised a great synergy between APCON and BON to change the current narrative of conventional media in Nigeria.
We have the broadcast media, we have the print media, we have the out of home, and most recently, we have the online media. APCON is going through so much in reforming this industry.
Ogun State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Alhaji Abdulwahid Odushile, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Alhaji Wahid Adeshina, charged the professionals to be proactive in the discharge of their duties.
As a practitioner, I know that media houses, especially broadcast stations, are going through hard times, orchestrated by harsh economic environment due to global economic recession, epileptic power supply, and exorbitant cost of diesel, as well as high cost of broadcast equipment and spare parts, which totally depend on importation.
The program later went into plenary session, where issues affecting all media houses in the Southwest were treated and a communique later issued on the way forward. The forum had in attendance chief executive officers, general managers of both radio and TV stations in the Southwest, with APCON and BON executives not left out.
We now take more stories from the APC primaries that just ended in Abuja. The emergence of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the party's flag bearer in the 2023 presidential election from the grand and colorful special convention held at the Eagle Square, Abuja, led to a wave of reactions from delegates, chieftains, and members of the party. The three-day convention had delegates converging on the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, from all the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Matthew Showumi, who witnessed the convention, has this report.
Undoubtedly the biggest and well-organized events by the ruling All Progressives Congress in the country, and most importantly, one that will shape the future of the biggest political party in Nigeria. The importance of the occasion is not lost on delegates, chieftains, and members of the party who were at the Eagle Square venue of the Presidential Primary Convention. The grand and colorful events, bearing every signal of a political crescendo and which ran through the night, is not devoid of political horse trading, scheming, dance, and jubilation of the victory already been anticipated, which usually characterized events of such nature in the country. Journalists were not left out of the whole show, and was a quite peculiar task, having to work throughout the day and keep vigil in anticipation of the outcome. After very long, tedious, and tiring events running for more than 24 hours, the national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, eventually clinched the party's tickets, which spontaneously prepared a wave of reactions by the people.
That Nigeria is now moving on the right path. It's a tested hand. It's a man that loves the country. It's a man that cares for people. It's a man that's gifted with gift of human relationship and administration.
A good profile. He has a talent. Nigeria is going to witness a leader that will help revive this country.
We saw it coming, actually. So to be honest with you, we give glory and thanks to God that the kind of unity and the progress that all our governors brought together.
He has proved it over the years, and I have no doubt that he will perform better. Don't get fighter, a great achiever, a man possessed with some knowledge to make this work.
We believe that somebody that has prepared for the election in all forms, you win.
Though the All Progressives Congress Presidential Primary Convention has come and gone, the outcome will no doubt determine the shape of events to come in the political terrain and set the tone of electioneering campaign for 2023 polls. Matthew Showme, OGTV News.
And still to come in the news, NDLEA boss advocates drug tests for core members. More news and reports up. We're glad to have you back. Ogun State, as the industrial capital of the nation, is being adversely affected by the fragile ecosystem of the state, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. It has therefore become imperative to preserve nature and make pivotal attitudinal change towards environmental issues. This was the submission of Ogun State Governor Prince Abeokuta during the grand finale celebration of the 2022 World Environment Day at the June 12 Cultural Center, Abeokuta. Ronke Adeyemi reports.
Countries and communities acted on World Environment Day to make a real difference to their ecosystem, joining their counterparts in the celebration of the Golden Jubilee of the conscious effort of protecting the Mother Earth. Ogun State Ministry of Environment, alongside its sister partners, Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency, OGEPA, and Ogun State Waste Management Authority, OGWOMA, in celebrating the 2022 World Environment Day with the theme, Only One Earth. The event marked the grand finale of the celebration that kick-started with tree planting on Friday, 3rd of June 2022, representing the state governor, Prince Abeokuta, the head of service, Ogun State, Dr. Nofiu Aigoro, enjoined residents to embrace a lifestyle that is both sustainable and environment conscious.
Put our environment into consideration, and while we have the consciousness of being a member of the global community, we should act at our various local environment to procure a better environment for us all.
Special advisor to the governor on environment, Mr. Ola Oresonya, while discussing the challenges the environment is facing, advocated preservation of nature at all costs.
And therefore daily challenge ourselves as a minister of environment to improve our efforts for the purpose of making our environment more livable.
In their various messages, critical stakeholders and guest lecturers emphasized on the aging earth and curbing the menace of climate change.
But as daunting as climate change looks, we have all agreed that we humans have we play a part in causing the climate change. And so that is why we have all agreed that we need to change the way we are living.
Awards were presented to partner companies in appreciation of their unquantifiable support. Like every other year, the 2022 World Environmental Day remains an avenue to remind individuals of the importance of climate change and its menace in our society, and also to promote sustainable living everywhere and every time. Ronke Adeyemi, OGTV News.
Following the protest by students of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, over the lingering strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, the Edo State government at the State Executive Council meeting on Wednesday suspended all union activities across all state-owned institutions of higher learning. In a statement by Crusoe Osage, the special advisor on media projects to the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, it was gathered that the secretary to the state government, Osarodion Oge, said the affected unions include ASU, non-academic staff of universities, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, Non-Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, and all allied unions operating across all state-owned tertiary institutions. Ogie noted that by this notice, academic activities are to resume in all state-owned institutions, and all cadre of staff are directed to report to their duty posts immediately. Similarly, students across all state-owned tertiary institutions are expected to resume for lectures as necessary measures have been taken to ensure resumption of academic and non-academic activities. He added that management of the affected institutions have been mandated to pay all outstanding salaries immediately. The statement therefore urged the management of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, to implement a no-work, no-pay policy, declare vacant and advertise the position of any staff that refuses to resume work in line with this directive. The federal government, in collaboration with Development Gateway DG, a data for development non-profit organization, has developed the Tobacco Control Data Initiative website, which creates a one-stop shop that would allow stakeholders and the public access the relevant and up-to-date data to advance tobacco control legislation in the country. In a statement in Abuja, Development Gateway said the initiative is in response to the increased use of tobacco products in Nigeria and the various dangers it portends for the public, especially young people. According to the Development Gateway, the initiative has become necessary due to staggering statistics about tobacco use in Nigeria. At least 16,100 Nigerians die annually because of illnesses linked to tobacco use. 3.2 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 49 used tobacco in 2018, and about 200,000 tobacco users are women. By 2030, the number of smokers in Africa is anticipated to rise by nearly 40% from 2010 levels. The organization said the Tobacco Control Data Initiative will fill in the data gap in tobacco control that will enable legislators and decision makers use correct data to inform public health policies. Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, has asked that corps members undergo drug tests as they report for their mandatory one-year national service at the various orientation camps across the country as part of drug demand reduction efforts of the Anti-Narcotic Agency. He made this call when he hosted the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Mohammed Fada, who led his management team on a courtesy visit to the NDLEA headquarters in Abuja on Wednesday. The NDLEA boss painted a picture of Nigeria's drug problem with facts and figures from the 2018 National Drug Survey, while calling for collective efforts to change the narrative. General Marwa said that there is the need for drug tests for youth corps members as they report at the orientation camps, adding that the move would make the corps members to abstain from drugs once they know that there would be drug tests at the camps. According to him, the whole essence is to ensure help gets to those who test positive early, and this is part of the war against drug abuse initiative. Speaking earlier, NYSC DG Brigadier General Mohammed Fada said he came on the visit to appreciate NDLEA for past support to the scheme and also ask for further collaboration as NYSC prepares to open the gates of orientation camps across the country. The Federal Ministry of Aviation has appealed to the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority for a grant of an air transport license for Nigerian Air Limited to operate scheduled and non-scheduled passenger and cargo services within and outside Nigeria. This development has, however, generated different reactions from Nigerians following the government's stance on allowing private companies to have control of the operations of the airline. Tumininu Babashola presents our report in this package.
Following the announcement of the Nigeria's Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, in late 2021 to launch the Nigeria Air and its subsequent approval by the Federal Executive Council to kick off in April 2022. The launch date was, however, delayed due to the emergence of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 in the latter stages of 2021. It is worthy of note that the Nigerian government has not owned a national airline since 2003, when Nigeria Airways ceased trading. On the other hand, the termination of the agreement with Virgin Air made Nigeria Air flies in its own colors until it ceased operations in 2012. Is Nigeria Air not going to suffer such imminent fate?
This project that government wanted to embark on, or they are about starting, is a kudos, is to be a plus to the country, which I really support. If you have a government that really want to bring about development of the country, well, we are in support of it.
There is need for us to look at the back. What were those things that made the then Nigeria Airways to collapse? Have you bothered to check that? So that such things will not make this one to suffer again.
The Nigerian government has made it known in clear terms that the organized private sector is expected to control the new airline with a maximum of 49% of the shares. Nigerian financial and institutional investors holding 46% of the shares, while the Nigerian government is to hold the remaining 5%. Nigerians who spoke with OGTV News expressed deep concern on the effect of Nigerian government delving into a supposed private business.
Things that should be their preoccupation now should be on air safety and the convenience of the travelers, the commuters in and out of the country, and then intra-country travels also. That should be their preoccupation now. They should put their money in other than just withdraw or take out their funds from this. Let the private sector drive it. Why they just supervise?
Well, if we're going to make it a reality, I believe that there are Nigerians that can make things work. There are private businesses that are running. If the government wants it to succeed, then the government will have to put sentiments aside and allow those that can run it to run it.
The FCT, Abuja, already chosen as the location of its headquarters, and sets its target to increase its fleet to 30 aircraft in the next 5 years. How achievable that will turn out, only time will tell.
The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar, on Tuesday disclosed that Nigeria's cocoa production will hit 500,000 metric tons annually in 2024. Abubakar made the projection known during a courtesy visit led by the Executive Director, International Cocoa Organization, Arion Michel, at his office in Abuja. He made the projection based on the frantic effort cocoa farmers, stakeholders, and government are making to galvanize the cocoa industry with the aim of occupying the top 3 positions currently having Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Ecuador respectively. The minister said all is being done with all hands on deck to push the current cocoa production of 340,000 tons to 500,000 tons by 2024. He also said there is an initiative on improving the cocoa varieties farmers are using for maximum production of the commodity. However, the minister reiterated the importance of traceability and transparency in the cocoa industry, including the national cocoa farm irrigation, improvement of the cocoa sector through research, input delivery production, value addition, processing, and export. Nigerians continue to lament huge loss of revenue to oil theft by the country, which could have been available for the provision of social amenities to improve the quality of life of the populace. This to Nigerians may make developmental drive unachievable, as statistics have it that Nigeria lost over $1 billion to oil theft in the first quarter of the year 2022. In this report, Benga Adekoya seeks the opinion of a cross-section of Nigerians on how it could be curbed. His report.
According to a report by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Nigeria has lost about 434 billion naira, which is about $1 billion, oil theft between January and March this year. This huge revenue lost to oil theft was disclosed same day the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Mr. Temipire Silva, said international oil companies are leaving Nigeria because the environment was becoming too volatile for their operations.
It is worrisome that the Nigerian upstream environment has become very hostile, again, due to activities of these criminals and maybe issues of host community, especially the issue of crude oil theft has made the upstream sector very unattractive, to investment, at the moment, and it's an issue that seriously need to be dealt with.
This development has continued to generate comments from Nigerians with a belief that the challenge was hindering Nigeria from meeting her crude oil output capacity, as out of 141 million barrels of crude oil the country produced during the period, about 9 million barrels were lost to crude oil theft.
This aspect of this lacuna on our socio-economic life is a very huge one, and it's really, really unfortunate because you'll be shocked that as at last year, it was given that the country is losing over 3 trillion naira in terms of revenue, and it is quite disheartening that this is happening.
However, with the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, raising Nigeria's crude oil quota to 1.76 million barrels per day, starting with the month of June 2022. The challenge, therefore, is how would government and relevant security agencies checkmate the uncontrollable loss of revenue that may arise?
I don't even think that we should only consider ourselves good enough for securing pipeline. I don't believe so. Other people can come and secure your own pipeline too.
Dr. Lanre Akintola, a lecturer at the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, who served in the Niger Delta area some years back, said community approach is the best way to curb oil theft.
We must plead with the Western world to stop encouraging stealing of crude from Nigeria by stop buying these stolen properties. And then government should deploy technology to monitor the oil facilities and use the community approach to come.
Respondents charged federal government to double its efforts towards increasing oil and gas production and ensuring maximum economic recovery in Nigeria through the optimization of oil and gas value chain.
That report on oil theft by Gbenga Adekoya was presented from our studio. The National Bureau of Statistics has said the number of road accidents in the first quarter of 2022 reduced by 1.82% from the fourth quarter of 2021. This is according to the National Bureau of Statistics Road Transport Data first quarter 2022 report released in Abuja on Wednesday. The report said the total road crashes were 3,345 in the first quarter, showing a decrease of 1.82% from the fourth quarter 2021, which recorded 3,407 road crashes. It said disaggregating the crashes into categories showed that serious cases in the first quarter 2022 were higher with 2,100 compared to fatal and minor crashes with 871 and 374 respectively. However, it said serious cases of road crashes were lower by 4.50% in the first quarter 2022 relative to the fourth quarter 2021, which recorded 2,199. The report said similarly, fatal cases of road crashes showed a decline of 1.91% in the first quarter 2022, with 871 cases as against 888 cases in the fourth quarter of 2021. In addition, minor cases of road crashes rose from 320 in the fourth quarter of 2021 to 374 in the first quarter of 2022. It's now time for business news with Simiad Abaru.
rose by 183.19% from 530.98 billion naira in the first quarter of 2018 to 1.51 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022. According to the National Bureau of Statistics data on foreign trade, China is responsible for most of the import into Nigeria. In the 5 quarters under review, China was the #1 nation on the top 10 countries. China, while is responsible for the bulk of the nation's import, export to China is negligible according to available data. The country was missing from the nation's top 10 export destination in the first quarter of 2018, first quarter of 2020, and first quarter of 2022. Only in the first quarter of 2021 did China rank on the top 10 export destination, when it ranked 3rd with 190.11 billion naira. In the same quarter, total import from China were put at 2.01 trillion naira. Nigeria's electricity generation improved by 2.1% on Tuesday to 77,917.94 megawatt per hour, representing a further increase compared to 76,297.58 megawatt per hour recorded on Monday. This is according to information from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Similarly, energy supply increased by 2.2% on Tuesday from 75,197.46 megawatt per hour sent out by the generating companies on Monday to 76,851.08 megawatt per hour. Energy generation peaked at 3,504.9 megawatt on Tuesday, while off-peak was 2,903.4 megawatt. Notably, 98.63% of the generated energy in the day under review was sent out to distributing companies. Power generation and supply had declined by 15.7% last week, Saturday, falling to its lowest level since 9th of April 2022. Energy generation averaged at 76,983.67 megawatt per hour between the 29th of May and the 4th of June 2022, lower than the average 76,336.55 megawatt recorded in the previous week. Cyber criminals spent more time in their victim systems in 2021 compared with 2020. The latest report by cybersecurity company Sophos has established. According to Sophos, the dwelling time of attackers increased by 36% last year, with a median intruder dwell time of 15 days in 2021 versus 11 days in 2020. The company, in its Active Adversary Playbook 2022, released today, says the longer dwell times means that it is now becoming hard for in-house IT security staff organizations to proactively hunt for, investigate, and respond to suspicious alerts and potential threat. Sophos also discovered that intruder dwell time was longer in small organizations' environment, as attackers lingered for approximately 51 days in organizations with up to 250 employees, while they typically spend 20 days in organizations with 3,000 to 5,000 employees. And finally, 2 African-owned startups, Cheaper Cash and Isusu, have been listed on the FinTech 50 list of 2022 by Forbes. Isusu, co-owned by Ghanaian Abeokuta, who founded it in 2008 alongside Samuel Goal, and built to include everyone on the journey from financial identity and stability toward financial wellness that leads to wealth building. According to the startup, it was also built to create equitable financial access for everyone, on the premise that where you come from, the color of your skin, and your financial identity should never determine where you end up in life. And that's the end of Business News Tonight. Many thanks for watching. Back to Tunji for the segment of the news.